What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Noob. So, I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember a time before anime was streamed on the internet. But I started watching anime way back in the early 90s, around the time of Toonami on Cartoon Network. There also came channels like Fox and WB that were showing short animes and other such stuff. Imagine this, before the days of internet. You come home after school, you plop down on the couch, you turn on the TV, and that is when you hear your favorite show, be it the opening or catchphrase. For me, there was a unique show that caught my attention. For most people, it was Pokemon. I wasn't that kind of kid. For me, I liked something that was maybe a little darker. That, folks, was Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's time to duel!
Yes, folks, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a show that captured my attention. In fact, it captured my attention so well, I actually own Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, and to this day, I still have them. I still have first-generation cards that I'm pretty sure some kids don't even know exist. But as I continued watching the show, I came to realize, as most people did later on, that it was censored a little. Be it where they took guns out or they didn't show certain scenes. So I became very interested in wondering what happened in the manga. But I did not go read the mangas because back then I really didn't understand manga and it was really hard to find them. Recently, though, something made me go back and decide to actually start reading this. And, oh my god, the Yugi we get in the manga is dark as hell. Now, you might be wondering, oh, how can he be dark? Does he swear? Does he cuss? No, folks. Yami Yugi straight up murders people. And that is just in the first few mangas that I read. I still haven't even gotten to the point where he's actually playing the card game. In fact, in the beginning, there are no duel cards. It is him dealing with stuff in his high school life. I think they're in high school at this point. But the things that happen and the way that Yami, his alternate personality, deals with it is straight up criminal. And I like it. Let me just give you a few examples. In, I think, was the first manga chapter, Yugi's actually not friends with his friend Joey and Tristan. They're actually bullies who pick on him. But there's even a bigger bully who decides to help Yugi by beating them up. But when he protects them, he beats Yugi up and threatens to really harm him, in fact, maybe even kill him, if he doesn't pay up money. Now, around this time, if you know Yu-Gi-Oh!, he has that puzzle around his neck that houses the spirit of Yami. It's during this time that he actually solves it, and this is where we get to see the dark side of Yami Yugi. See, Yami Yugi challenges this punk in a type of game where it's basically, can you restrain yourself? They lay money on top of their hands, take a knife, and you get to keep how much you can stab through without stabbing your hand. Now, as you could probably guess, the guy halfway through this decides if he could just attack Yugi, he can keep all the money. But see, that's where he loses the game, and Yami penalizes him with a penalty game. What he does is straight up breaks this guy's mind and makes him believe that litter is cash. Basically, he brainwashed and made him crazy. Now, you might think that's kind of light. Then we go on to another one that caught my attention. There was, for some reason, a producer who wanted to film child bullying or someone getting beat up, and Yugi becomes the target. And when Joey, who's actually now his friend, tries to stand up for him. The producer beats up Joey, and that pisses off Yugi enough to where Yami comes out. Later on that night, he challenges him to a dice game, and the one with the highest number loses. And this guy, being a jerk, just throws the dice at him, but when it lands, it breaks, and it becomes like a 7. He's got the highest number. So what does Yami do? He makes him blind. He makes it to where his eyes can only see in pixelations, basically blinding this guy. So he's not only mentally damaged someone, he's now physically crippled someone. But it gets darker. One of my favorite ones, and this is going to be the one I'm going to stop at because I want to go further, but I want you folks to go further. There is a chapter where Joey and Yugi are following Taya. Now, Taya is her name in America. I can't remember what it is in Japan, but, you know, the girl who Yugi kind of has a crush on. They follow her and find out she's actually working part-time in a burger place. And, you know, she talks about how she wants to go to America, but then a criminal that's just escaped from prison comes in and takes the place hostage. And he is holding Taya hostage, holding a gun up to her, and he forces Yugi to go get him some supplies. Some smoke, some alcohol, some food, blah, 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 blah. Now, as Yugi is coming back, this guy hits Taya. And that not only pisses off Yugi, but for some reason pisses off Yami. And now, Yami sits down and says, I'm going to challenge you to a game. Now, this guy with the gun, you know, he's got a cigarette in his mouth. He's thinking, you know what, whatever. I'm going to win this game no matter what, because I'm going to use my finger and pull the trigger. As he points the gun, Yami shows a lighter. Now, you know, the guy is pouring alcohol while holding a gun. He's got a lighter, you know, and he's like, okay, light me up. And Yami says, the only move I'm going to use is my thumb. Takes the lighter, turns it on, lights the guy's cigarette, and then places the lighter on top of his hand. While this guy's pouring alcohol, which you don't realize he's pouring like 100 proof vodka or something like that. This stuff's spilling all over on him because now he's nervous. Yami knows straight out, you shoot, you're going to light yourself on fire. He then walks away, taking Taya with him, and this guy gets so nervous, you see the lighter falling, and this motherfucker gets lit on fire. Yami just straight up murdered someone. Oh my god. If you thought breaking the minds of someone in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show was dark, this manga in just the first couple chapters has straight up maimed, disabled, and murdered someone. And we haven't even gotten to the card games. This is straight up even before the whole dueling. So, this manga is dark. And no wonder why they censored some of this stuff in the US. Because if you would have put this back in the 90s and early 2000s, parents would have had an uproar. Heck, they'd have an uproar right now if they had seen this. I love how dark this manga is going, and I am going to be reading it all. I don't care how old it is. I don't care how corny it is. To see a main character who, quite frankly, if you remember the anime, was kind of innocent. Even when he was in Yami form, he was still kind of a good guy. You see that character straight up murder someone, I'm all for it. Folks, I don't know how old you are or what anime you may have started out with, but I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, you should go back to the mangas. See the difference between what you saw on TV and what you read in the mangas. If you are like me, you will be pleasantly surprised. Anyways, folks, I'm the Noob. Thank you for listening to this, and I'm going to catch y'all next time. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And is there a manga that you want me to read? Something that you may think is dark compared to what we saw on TV? Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you later.